Hey, happy day 746 of What You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom, also known as Pajama Grandma, in my super cozy warm pajamas. It's gonna be like 31 below where I live today. It's ridiculous. So guess what? I'm not going outside except to let the dogs out. I'm gonna stay in my cozy robes, probably wrap up in a cozy blanket, except when I'm chasing puppies or my granddaughter around, and just be comfortable and sip my hot coffee. So drives you crazy. Here's one. Making a video that needs to be under 10 minutes, that's 10 minutes and 21 seconds long, and not wanting to re-record it and redo it. I might just reshoot it. I don't want to. I almost never reshoot my videos. What I'll probably do instead is just not share it on Instagram and not share it directly on LinkedIn. Just share it on LinkedIn through YouTube to share, just cut myself some slack and save energy. I've got my granddaughter coming today, and it's so bitter cold here that they've closed the school, so she's not gonna have school today, and then she's gonna have a sleepover. We're gonna have a sleepover, which I love having sleepovers with her. She's awesome, and probably her little puppy too. But it's so cold, and it means I'm not gonna get anything else done today. It means I'm gonna be super busy and probably not get anything done, which is awesome and okay. But I wanted to get my videos done, so I probably don't want to spend 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes. Usually when I reshoot them, if I do, they go from just over 10 minutes to like 7, right? I usually can cut out 3 minutes. I can always tell now when I'm talking if I'm sharing too many stories. And I knew when I started to talk about a second story, it was too many and that I would go over. And I was hoping, you know what I'm always hoping, when I finish it to share and I see how long it actually is, I'm like, I need a timer or a clock, a giant one that can be behind my camera that can tell me when I'm getting close, so that I know that I'm going to be talking too long. Sometimes I'm long-winded. I hate that I ramble and I talk too much. That would be one of the things that drives me crazy about myself, right? Sometimes my hair drives me crazy. A lot of things drive us crazy, right? Every single one of us. And drives us crazy, of course, is an expression. It's an American expression from the 1900s, so it's my whole lifetime, and probably absolutely everybody who's listening's lifetime. So it's an expression that's been around a lot. Driving means control in a lot of situations. If you were driving a wagon, even a covered wagon, you were in control of the horses, you were in control. And that, of course, once cars came into being, it just became ever, so much more popular. Backseat driver, driver's seat, all about control. And guess what? We always have control over everything we think, everything we believe, everything we say, and everything we do, whether we believe it or not. We do. So I'd actually started making a little list of things that drive me crazy for this video, and I didn't really talk about hardly any of them. I just used a couple of examples, but all of us, absolutely all of us, have things that just bother us and make us nuts, that trigger us, that cause us to, get frustrated or annoyed or angry about something. And there's things, and there's people, and there's actually words and phrases and sayings. I remember in corporate America, there were a couple of trigger phrases that I would hear that would just drive me nuts. That's just the way it is. That's the way we've always done it. Well, you don't know because you haven't worked here for how many ever years. The person that was talking would tell me that, as if their job, their industry, was the only one in the world that ever faced this situation or problem, right? So often we believe that our situation is different than anyone else's in the whole wide world. And although we're all unique, we're all different, we're all on our own journey, we all have our own unique set of experiences, almost everything that any one of us ever go through or ever experience, someone else has experienced it before, and other people will continue to experience it after us, right? Starting a new business, getting in a relationship, ending a relationship, getting a new job, going to college, going to school, changing your mind, breaking your leg, everything, anything you can possibly imagine. I don't think you could think of a thing that you're the only one that's ever experienced it. I mean, how many billions of people have lived on the planet nowadays, right? You gotta believe somebody's been through what you're going through now. And it doesn't always feel that way, because what we're going through is unique to us in that we're the only us that is experiencing it. So that in and of itself makes the situation and the experience different, but we actually isolate ourselves instead of reaching out and saying, okay, well, who else has done this? Who else has been through this before? How might I get through this faster and easier? And sometimes we just don't want to. Sometimes we want to mire in our own victimness, and sometimes we want to just feel bad for a little bit and then get over it. Or sometimes we just want to feel bad for a long time and say, I don't know that I'm ever going to get over this. And then at some point we get sick of feeling bad. We're like, yeah, I guess I'm going to get over this now. How am I going to get over this? And then we look for answers. So what kind of things drive you crazy? Technology is less and less driving me crazy. But when I first went online, and it's really funny because I'm an engineer, right? So technology and problems and solving problems is kind of my jam. But for some reason online, when things are changing all the time, and guess what? Things are changing all the time, right? In every area of our life. But technology used to really frustrate and irritate me. When I was trying to do things online and social media, and I'm in a program, I use a tool called ClickFunnels, learning how to do it, and when things would change, it used to just be like, okay, this is making me crazy. Then I realized things are changing all the time. Why would I spend my time and energy being frustrated over that? Traffic and road rage and things used to drive me crazy. People being bad drivers or inattentive drivers or not paying attention or doing dangerous things used to drive me crazy. And then I realized it is just the way it is. It's not going to change. It's outside of me. I can't control it, but I can control whether I'm going to get upset about it or not. And that's kind of true of everything. Everything that frustrates or annoys or bothers us or drives us crazy, we have a choice whether we're going to let it drive us crazy or not. We can let it drive us crazy and be frustrated and annoyed and upset, or we can say, all right, I'm noticing this thing that's driving me crazy. Why is it bothering me? And usually it's from something that we didn't even realize, or usually it's just because we're noticing something that either we don't want to have in our life, a behavior we might not want to exhibit, or maybe we are actually being more of that than we want to be. For example, judgment. When I had my sudden cardiac arrest, for some reason, after I woke up from that experience, from the coma and everything, and was getting better and getting out of the hospital and trying to figure out what the heck had happened to me, all of a sudden, judgmental behavior and people being judgy and judgmental, it just really bothered me. It drove me crazy. And I couldn't figure out why. So I started I just was really attuned to whenever people were criticizing or judging other people or other things or situations, it just bothered me. And I had to ask myself, what the heck? Why am I noticing this all the time? Why is it bothering me? And the truth is, because prior to that event, I was way more judgmental about other people's behaviors and timing and how long it took them to do things than I probably wanted myself to be, or I should have been. And it wasn't hurting them as much as it was actually hurting me to be super judgmental, because it was adding stress and frustration and annoyance to my life and my feelings and my behaviors, and I didn't want to be that way. So why was I noticing judgment and judgy behavior? Well, partly because I had to admit that that's how I was behaving in the past, and I didn't want to behave that way anymore. So I had to take some action and start changing my behavior, start asking myself, okay, does this really matter? Does the thing I'm looking at, number one, does it justify me getting upset or frustrated or stressed out about it on the inside? It certainly doesn't require me to ever say anything about it. If I'm frustrated about something, I have to own that and deal with that frustration, not blame a situation or other people or things outside of myself for that feeling that I'm experiencing, right? So I learned a lot about that, and it's true of a lot of other things that we notice and are causing us to feel a certain way. We all have those triggers. We all have pet peeves. We all have things that bother us. And sometimes they're just things that bother us because they're different than what we like or that what we're used to. A lot of it is they're different than what we've experienced. A lot of the reason we are annoyed or frustrated or driven crazy by something is because we don't understand it. It's outside of our normal operating or our normal experience. Sometimes things that bother us are because we have attached them to a significant emotional event, either positive or negative, in the past. We can be triggered either positively or negatively. We can be driven crazy in a positive way, right? When we're in love, pretty much all of us go a little crazy, right? At some point. We do crazy things. We'll do crazy things to protect the people that we love and care about. I mean, I don't know any parents, and I know there's parents that aren't this way, but I unconditionally love my kids. I will do anything I absolutely positively ever can for my kids and for their happiness, right? Because I love them unconditionally. We will do crazy things and make dumb decisions and dumb choices to take care of and nurture and love our children or whatever. So we can be driven crazy in bad ways, and we can be driven crazy in actually positive, good ways. Ways that make the world a better place. We may be driven crazy about something that we think is an injustice, and that will cause us to go out and change the world, because we will create a whole business or organization or charity or movement that actually solves the thing that drives us crazy and makes the world a better place. A lot of us start our businesses and run businesses not just for the money, but to make the world a better place, to make a positive impact on the world. When I was younger, most of what I did, most of the businesses I was involved in, most of the industries, most of the businesses I owned, the jobs I had, were primarily, number one, I liked what I did. I loved the quality function. I loved sticking my fingers in everybody's business. I loved it, which I'm sure drove everybody crazy, right? But I loved it, so it was cool for me. But I liked my jobs. I loved my jobs, but I also wanted my freedom and control. And so there's a lot of us, we have these dueling beliefs, these dueling desires, these dueling things within ourselves that can actually drive us crazy internally, because we're trying to be two things at once. And at some point, we will resolve those conflicts in order to move forward and to create what we want in our lives. So I love this expression, drives you crazy. What drives you crazy? Share in the comments below. I would love to know some of the things that drive you crazy. I could make long lists of things that used to drive me crazy. Not so much anymore. I do get a little frustrated sometimes, like with technology or when my videos are too long, because I hate rework, right? I hate redoing things. Part of why I hate shopping and housework, right? Because you got to do them over and over and over again. Preparing meals and eating. I love to cook, but I don't like to cook the same thing over and over again. Because I like variety and creativity, right? So there's all things that we love that drive us crazy in a positive way, and there's things that we hate and push against that drive us crazy in a negative way. And we can use those things to make the world a better place, both the things we love and the things we hate, right? So, driving you crazy. Love to know what drives you crazy. And if you want to know what drives me crazy, just start asking some questions, and I'll share, because I love sharing the things that drive me crazy. Who doesn't, right? Because we all have those things. We all have things. And it's interesting, some of the things that drive us crazy wouldn't even ever bother someone else. That's the really interesting. That's the fun thing about all of us being different, all of us being unique. So, drives you crazy. Today was day 37 of the 365-day fun challenge, all about giving someone a compliment. I don't think that hardly anybody these days or in the world gets enough compliments, at least human talking to compliments. So go out of your way today to compliment somebody and let them know how much you care and love and appreciate them, or are really, delighted by something about them today. Maybe they have a new tie, maybe they have a new haircut, maybe they have maybe they were awesome in a meeting you were at, maybe they shared an idea that you just were really inspired by. Whatever it is, give somebody a sincere compliment today, and see how that makes you feel. I don't know about you, but it always makes me feel better when I can give somebody a sincere compliment, and I know that they appreciate that. We all just want to be acknowledged, right? As human beings, we all just want to be noticed and acknowledged. Most of us in a positive way, but guess what? If you can't get it in a positive way, people are all about, hey, I'll go about it getting myself acknowledged in a negative way. I'm actually listening to and participating in 4 different challenges right now of other people's, just as homework and research. I don't know about you, but I'm always improving my skills and abilities and crafts and continually learning. And so challenges are my thing, but I'm just watching what people are doing in their challenges nowadays to kind of get a broader perspective of, hey, what's out there, what are people doing, and how does this improve what I'm doing? So I'm doing that, and I'm mapping out, and I'm actually cleaning up some of my social media profiles and getting more consistent branding and messaging out, because over the years I wasn't online, right? I really wasn't. I had a Facebook account, I had a Twitter. I built my Twitter, get this, I built my Twitter account when my dad was in the hospital at Mayo for his first heart surgery, his open heart surgery. He had a quadruple bypass, and you know, it was hours and hours down at Mayo in the hospital, and I didn't have anything to do, so Twitter had just come about, so I hopped on Twitter, and I followed like 60,000 people. It was before they had the follow limits on. I didn't know better, I just did it. And then ever since then, that account has been frozen, and I just lose followers. I think I'm still following like 27,500 people. Over the years, it's just dwindled down. That was at least, how long's Twitter been around? Twitter was brand new. So I don't even know how long Twitter's been around, but however long it's been around, that's when I did it. It was before they had any of the follow rules, positive, you know, you could have so many followers and you could only follow so many people. It was before they had that limit. Now I think you can only follow 5,000 people or something. I don't know what it is. I don't care. It's just, that's how long I've been on social media. So all of my different social media profiles, as I've joined things, are chaotic and all over the place. So one of my things I've wanted to do for at least 2 years since I've gone online is make those a little more consistent across the board. And so I'm working on that. I'm working on my branding, because I've never had branding. I've just been me. And me is a little weird for people, I think. And so I think that the messages that I have out in the world are a little confusing, and I want to bring those all together so that they're more focused and less confusing for other people, and actually even less confusing and more streamlined for me to make my life easier. So I'm doing that, and that all has to do with my challenges and my strategy and what I want to do going forward. It's a time where I'm revamping and I'm looking at, what do I really, really want to do? What do I really want to spend my time and energy on going forward? Because as I get older, I have less time and energy that I want to spend on things, and I want to do more of what I want to do, when I want to do it, with whoever I want to do it, wearing whatever I want to do it, wherever I want to do it. And so, is that all about me? Yes, but it doesn't mean I can't do an awesome job serving other people as I'm being myself. Would love to know what you're working on. If you have any questions or if you need help in any way, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I will go spend a couple of days hanging out with an amazing little 4-year-old and her little puppy, 2, not named Toto, Lila, actually. Have an absolutely amazing day, and I will, of course, see you tomorrow. Bye.